Okay, so who likes caramel? If you like caramel or caramel, you came to the right spot because this video today is all about the note of caramel in fragrances. Now look, I'm gonna probably say caramel and caramel interchangeably. I said caramel growing up. That's what we said in Texas. I live in the Midwest now and everybody says caramel here. So it went from a 2-syllable word to a 3-syllable word. It is what it is. However, that note is a note I really, really love in the cold weather. I have a gajillion million fragrances with caramel in them, and it was like overwhelming. It was like 25. I just narrowed it down. I was cutthroat and narrowed it down to 13. So I have fragrances that have caramel that are very gourmand, that are non-gourmand, that are unisex, that lean very feminine. I cover the gamut. We have citrusy caramels, we have floral caramels, we have tobacco-y caramels. Something for everybody, as long as you can tolerate that note. There's gonna be something for you. Now, before I get started, if you have any fragrance loves that feature the note of caramel, go ahead and let us know in the comment section below. I may not talk about them today because, again, I had to narrow it down, but I think we'd all love to hear about your favorite caramel notes. And with that, I'm just gonna get started. Now, I have a lot of ground to cover. I have a huge box of perfumes right here. You can hear them jiggling, jangling. I'm not gonna dilly-dally. I am going to move through these fragrances as rapidly as I know how. I'm gonna start with my fragrance of the day. I tell you what, in the morning I have to let the dogs out really early, and boy, there was a nip in the air, and I thought, whoa, it's time to really bring out some of my thicker, sweeter perfumes. And the one I wore today is one of my favorite gourmands that features the note of caramel, and it is Raised Spirits. I bought this blindly when this first came out because I thought it was an incensey fragrance. In fact, on the website, I think it had smoke kind of coming out of the bottle. Now, it's not an incensey perfume, but oh my goodness, it's a beautiful fragrance, and it features the note of caramel. So this is a boozy fragrance. Navatus, they know how to do boozy fragrances. They have so many good perfumes, and they've put out so many great releases, but man, do they know how to do a good boozy note. So this is a boozy fragrance. It is a rum fragrance, so it's got rum and brown sugar and caramel and other sweet notes, some woody notes in the dry down, and this amazing note of a pimento leaf or a pimento berry. Now, that is a note that's going to throw people in the beginning, and if you don't like the perfume and don't wait till the dry down, that's the note that's going to get you. But I think that is the note which makes this fragrance a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece gourmand perfume because of that note. Without the note, it would be way too sweet, and I think it would just kind of blend in with a lot of other fantastic gourmand perfumes. So, oh gosh, this is so good. My mouth is watering because pimento leaf to me is very green. It's dry and it's peppery. It's not quite as aromatic as a bay leaf, but it's a little bit greener. It's almost darker, crisper, like it's baked. It has a baked or a toasted quality to it, which I absolutely love. I can take bay leaf a little bit here and there, but the pimento leaf is fabulous. So you've got caramel, you've got brown sugar, you've got pimento leaf, you've got rum and toffee, some other very sweet notes. Lots of sweet notes like what is it, a butter toffee note or a brown sugar toffee. There's some interesting toffee note or fudgy note. It's delicious. So this is like you had rum and you put it in a wooden barrel, like an oak barrel. You added some brown sugar, you added some caramel, and you added a little bit of smokiness. Oh, it's like salted butter fudge. That's the note I'm thinking of. You added that fudge and you let it marinate for, years. And so it was imbued with all these delicious notes, and then you poured it in a martini glass and you added a sprig or a leaf of pimento leaf and maybe the kind of toasted pimento berries, and that's what you get right here. It is, again, when I think about smelling it, my mouth waters. It's absolutely delectable. Unisex for sure, particularly with that pimento berry. If that's not your favorite note, again, I think it makes the fragrance so incredibly unique. Wait till the dry down, but this is delicious word today. And even though it sounds really rich and decadent, it's not super overpowering, so it has a more intimate scent bubble, but it's gonna last all day. The next one is another beast. This is called Crush on Me. I love this. This is basically a caramel patchouli bomb. I mean, those are the main notes. The patchouli is fairly similar to the patchouli in Coromandel. It's a little bit earthy. It's a little bit chocolatey. This has, I want to say this has ginger and lime in the opening, so it's a little bit fresh in the opening, but in the dry down, this is really a patchouli caramel fragrance. It's absolutely delicious. One of the strongest and longest lasting perfumes in my collection. But again, you do have to love caramel and patchouli. And if you do, this is a phenomenal fragrance. Okay, how about we go with lemon and caramel? And I have a couple. One of them is empty. The next perfume that is a lemon balm with caramel is the beautiful Unknown Pleasures. Boy, this is a lemon balm with Earl Grey tea and a stroopwafel cookie. If you know what a stroopwafel cookie is, it's like a waffle. Take a waffle with brown sugar, smash it down, add a thin layer of syrupy caramel. Take another wafer, smash them together, and you have that. People in the Netherlands, they will make tea or coffee and put that on the coffee lid so the cookie kind of melts and you eat it when you drink coffee. I eat those. It's like my afternoon snack is a stroopwafel with a chai latte. It's delicious. Again, my mouth is watering, but oh my gosh, one of my favorite lemon perfumes. So very lemony, has a very heavy caramel. That caramel is the inner layer of the stroopwafel cookie. A little bit of the Earl Grey tea. I don't get a ton of that. But interestingly enough, when I wear this in the dry down, people say they smell coconut. So my daughter has said I smell like a coconut cookie, and my husband says I smell like kind of Thai food in a good way. So how about we do caramel in coffee? One of the more affordable picks is Coffee Addict. I've shown this before by Theodoros Kalatinas. He has kind of an exclusive higher end line and a line that is very affordably priced. Everything is $50 or 50 euros or less. This is a cafe mocha that has been superheated to the point where it's almost burned, but it doesn't quite get there. So it's got this nice, deep, rich flavor, and you add a huge drizzle of caramel. You've already got your coffee. You've already got your coffee in there. You've already got your chocolate in there because it is a cafe mocha. And then you add a bunch of vanilla and cream, whipped cream on the top. Here you go. It's very sweet, very dense, very rich. You have to love your sweet coffee fragrances, but if you do, this one is amazing. Okay, how about we go with a caramelly vanilla with some fruits. Vani Charnel, delicious caramelly vanilla fragrance with a little bit of kind of like a fruitiness and slight florals in the dry down. This vanilla to me is very cakey. It's a very bakery vanilla and it's very, very gourmand. So you take vanilla, you take some candied fruits, and you dip them in caramel, and you come up with Vani Charnel. It's quite delicious. It's very, very sweet. It's a very sweet perfume, but it wears lightly. It doesn't choke me out, and it's not going to choke others around you out because even though it's sweet, it wears lightly and it's not super dense. So a very delicious vanilla caramel with some fruits. The next one is a newer one for me. This is called Tero. This is a very unisex fragrance, and you have to like spices, particularly pepper, to enjoy this. So this is a caramel. So we've got the sweet and spicy thing going on in here. So you've got the sweetness from the caramel, and then you have some salt. So there's your sweet, salty, and then you've got spiciness from the pepper. Pepper is strong. The salt is strong, and the caramel is pretty strong. Not only does it have like black pepper, but it also has a little bit of a vegetal quality from a Sichuan pepper. I think this is my fourth fragrance that has Sichuan pepper, and I am loving it in perfumes. So a lot of you might think it leans masculine. I think it's unisex. It's quite delicious. It's very, very unique. Has a lot of patchouli in the dry down, so you have to be a lover of caramel, salt, pepper, vegetal pepper, Sichuan pepper, and patchouli to like this moderate performer, moderate wear. I go easy on this one because a little of Tero goes a long way. Okay, how about we do a caramel with florals? And that would be, my choice would be Ylang Ylang from Frank Beauclerc. So many in this line are hidden gems. Everything I've purchased from this line is like $100 or less. You get big 3.4 ounce bottles. So this is a very, as the name reads, it's very, very Ylang Ylang. So if you like Ylang Ylang or Ylang Ylang Nosy By, you're gonna love this perfume because the Ylang Ylang is very strong and very similar. So take a Ylang Ylang, dip it in caramel, and then dust it with mimosa, and that's basically what you get. So it's a very yellow perfume with a caramelly sweetness to it. The sweetness in here is almost like a crackled brittle type of a sweetness. So very unique, very interesting. It's not going to be for everybody, but again, if you like yellow florals, mimosa, if you like yellow florals, Ylang Ylang caramel and mimosa, like a little dusty polleny mimosa, you're gonna like this one. How about a fragrance that has caramel and incense in it? Again, this is not gonna be for everybody. I love this one on super cold days. This is called Mystic Incense. I smelled this first when I was in Italy. So this has a very strong incense. This has caramel, it's got salt, pepper, and some dried fruits. Ooh, this is very strong, like in your face. Not going to be for everybody, but I absolutely love wearing this fragrance. It's very holiday to me. I love to wear it during December. It just really kind of hits all the notes in December because it has those spices. It's got incense, it's got caramel, some dried fruits, like a mulled wine thing going on, but that's very, very tamed down. So, and I do love the saltiness in here. The salt's pretty strong, but definitely I think it needs it because it's a pretty sweet fragrance and it is strong. So stay away from it if you do not like caramel. Well, I'm assuming you like caramel. You're watching this video, but incense, you gotta love sweet fragrances, sweet, sticky caramel fragrances with incense, salt, pepper, and some dried fruits. Okay, I've got some gourmand heavy hitters coming up. One of them is from the brand Maisa that I used to talk about, or that I've talked about before. I have so many bottles from this line. This one has caramel, it has chocolate, it has orange, it has ambroxan, there's tonka, vanilla, a little bit of patchouli. So I've said this before, I would describe this as an orange pound cake that has like chocolate marbleized on the inside and you drizzled caramel syrup on the top. So very, very gourmandy. Now the chocolate doesn't last forever. The chocolate kind of comes on strong in the beginning. It fades into an orange vanilla perfume with caramel. It's quite delicious. A little bit of tonka. Very lovely. Another one that surprisingly was universally loved by those who smelled me when I was out and about. Quite yummy, quite lovely, and everybody in my house loves this one. The next one I'm going to talk about is one I just showed in my recent pickups. This is Madera. So this is a vanilla caramel or vanilla caramel perfume that's very similar to Escapade Gourmand, you know, Bianco Latte, that family, but the only difference, so those are vanilla caramel perfumes. This one has a pretty prominent note of coconut. So that's where the difference comes in. The other two that I just mentioned do not have a prominent note of coconut. This one does. So this one is like a coconut macaroon with drizzled caramel and like you bruleed the caramel on top. This is beautiful. And I love the sprayer. It's like this beautiful mist. It's gorgeous. It smells so good. That was one of my scents of the night last night. I always like to wear perfumes when I know I'm going to talk about them in the week upcoming. Oh my gosh. Great year round. Delicious. So this one I would say moderate. So moderate wear, moderate longevity. And even though it has a lot of sweet notes, doesn't wear very heavily. What should I go with next? I'm going to go with Minuit, a Demi. So a perfume that has caramel in the notes, that is a gourmand but doesn't smell overly foodie and is very unisex. So this has a lot of, you know, gourmand notes in it. Caramel, there's coffee, you know, you've got some spices, you've got some cardamom. So it's heading in that direction, but there are a lot of other notes that really kind of anchor it and keep it from being too sweet. So you've got tobacco, vetiver, and woods. Without those stronger, more anchoring notes, this would definitely go into the unit. This would go in the sweet category, the gourmand category, but that vetiver, tobacco, cedar, wood component really make it more universally appealing for those who do not like to smell like, you know, something you would eat, like a dessert. So this really walks that non-gourmandy gourmand line quite perfectly. And it does smell like I get this question all the time, changing constants. I love the Penhaligon's line. I have many. I don't have that one because I have this one. So it's really kind of one or the other. And again, I would say moderate wear, moderate longevity. The next one I'm going to pull is, one I show all the time. This one has been around forever. And the reason it's still in my collection and I haven't decluttered it is it's a great bang for your buck. Casablanca. It is a fruity, ambery caramel perfume that is a bomb on me. My daughter loves this. I love it when my daughter wears it. This is a great perfume to layer with other fragrances if you want to add like a sweet, fruity nuance you want to. I get asked all the time. I have this perfume, for example, I have Triumph of Bacchus. It wears a little bit more masculine on me. What can I add to make it a little bit more feminine? This is the one I would add. The fruits in here are apples and grapes, but it smells like pears to me. But yeah, quite delicious. And when I bought it many years ago, it was like around 30 bucks. Okay, I was almost done with the video and my camera battery died. So quick camera battery change. I've got one more in front of me and one more I'm gonna briefly mention. This one is a perfume that's really expensive and I spent a lot of money on it and I think I've worn it once or twice in a year. So we'll see if this stays in my collection. It's so pretty and lovely and one of the best caramely vanillas out there. I don't know why I don't wear it, but it is Vaniglia by Mazzolori. This is a dainty, airy, delicate, sweet caramel vanilla with florals. And the floral in here is orchid, which is a fantasy note. There's no orchid essential oil. They make it, they create it in a lab. And orchid is supposed to smell like kind of an exotic floral. So really I get this light crystalline caramel, almost like the crackled caramel covering, like the brulee topping. If you take something that's been bruleed and make it really, really thin, that would be the caramel in this. And then it's got this beautiful, light, creamy vanilla and a little bit of florals. If the florals weren't in here, it'd probably be way too sweet for the general public. It wouldn't be as popular. I think this is very popular for those who like caramel vanilla perfumes and don't mind the price. It is really, really lovely and obviously very well made. I do think that this could be worn year round, but it is on the sweet side. And I personally wouldn't wear it here in the summer. Here in the Midwest, I've said it before, it gets really, really cold in the wintertime and it gets really hot in the summer. So I don't like to wear these type of fragrances in the summer. I like to wear florals and fresh perfumes and all sorts of perfumes. Nothing too sweet and cloying. Those I like for the colder months. So this is just quite beautiful and airy. It does wear lightly, and I would say it doesn't last forever unless I spray on clothes and I beef it up with a nice, kind of a thick emollient body cream under that. Now the last one I wanted to talk about was a very interesting one, a fun one by Kais. And we don't have the bottle anymore because that one, we ran through the bottle. We had a small bottle and we finished it. And it was called Douceur Brulee. So that one was interesting. It had caramel, lemon, like beeswax, butter, all sorts of really fun, yummy, interesting notes. To me, that one smells like you were making a French toast. So you got your batter ready for the French toast. You added everything. Then you added some fresh lemon juice and some lemon rind and made your French toast. So Douceur Brulee, it smells like a lemon French toast. It's quite delicious, but very, very gourmand, and it does smell like food. I know my daughter really enjoyed that one. She actually stole that, put that in her room and drained the bottle. So that one is gone. But that's it. That's my very brief, truncated version of some delicious caramel-based fragrances in my collection that I know I'm going to be wearing, and I've already started to wear as the weather turns. Caramel, these kind of gooey fragrances with these lovely gourmand notes make me think of, well, it's October, make me think of, Halloween or Halloween treats. So it's very appropriate I thought it would be very appropriate for me to do a video about caramel-based fragrances in the month of October, and I'll be wearing these all the way probably up till March or April, and May we'll be putting them away and getting out my spring perfumes. But that's it. If I didn't mention any perfumes that you love that have a prominent note of caramel, let us know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for supporting me. And with that, I will see you on the next one. I'm going to be doing some more gourmand-based videos in the next couple weeks as we're heading into Halloween. So think marshmallow and creamy, like milky, creamy, yummy, milky, creamy, dreamy fragrances. So see you on the next one.